welcome back to another video. I still have a remote desktop session open so we can actually run through an install of IIS. If you're not familiar with Windows, most of the Windows server layouts or setups will be about the same. So what we need to do is actually add a role and a feature. And we're presented with this option. We can go ahead and hit next. So role-based for feature-based installations. So we're adding a feature to this server. All right, we're on 10.1.1.24. That looks right. That looks right as well. So now we're on the spot where it says select, whoops, nope, not yet. So it says select server roles. So right now we have a file storage service kind of enabled defaultly by Windows. I would disable that if you don't need it. But down here we actually have web server IIS. Once we click this, we'll be presented with other options. So it says web server is installed, of course, IIS, management tools, IIS management console. So go ahead and say yes, include these features as well. So go to next. So you have a couple of features here. So if you want to run this as a .NET server, so you have the .NET Framework 3.5 features. Go ahead and click that. So what that does is, I'm going to expand this out real quick so you can actually see it. So we have a .NET Framework 3.5, 2.0, and 3.0, of course. HTTP activation, non-HTTP activation. So the .NET Framework 4.6 is the newest stuff, of course. You have your .NET Framework 4.6. Go ahead and hit this ASP.NET 4.6 as well. And then you have your WCF services. So nothing really needs to be selected under there. So what we can do right here is go to next. Go to next. And most of these things are installed again by kind of default. So you can kind of run through this setup just like this. But we can scroll down and see if we want to enable anything else. We really don't want FTP services. The biggest thing is we have our IIS management console. We can always go back in here and add features. So we'll go to next. And it says you need to specify alternative path, blah, blah, blah. You can go ahead and say install. Again, and this is using the default pieces for Windows. So this is starting the installation here. This should take about 10 to 15 minutes. So I will be back once this has finished. Alright, so we have our IIS server. It finally finished its install. We can hit close here. So if you scroll down here, you actually have your IIS, and it says it's actually running here. Red means that it has issues or events, and it may not be running. So we can easily test this by going to our IP address. Remember, it was at 10.14.0140 address. So let's pull up a 10.14.0.140. So this is our IIS server. This is what's running on that server there. So we can actually go back here. And if you want to actually, I guess, kind of see the IIS management setup, if you haven't seen IIS before, you can go down here to your start menu, and then you can just start typing in IIS. And we'll see what we get with that. Everything looks good there. We have no events. I would really like to see my IIS manager here. Alright, so what we'll do is actually do a search for it here. It's not in the PowerShell. We'll go to Windows Administration Tools. We'll go to this newly installed thing, Internet Information Services, IIS. I'm going to go ahead and pin it to the Start menu so it's always there, because we'll use this to do a couple of other things too. So as you can see, here's our IIS server, and you have your options, you have your sites here. Of course, our main sites is right here under the default website, and new sites can go into there. And of course, you have your app pools. You can create a new app pool and create new applications. I will create another video to actually show you the interworkings of IIS. But the cool thing about this is you have the ability to create your own websites now from IIS, and multiple websites, and then have them redirect through DNS for clients that you have if you're a Windows developer. So if you want to know where all your files are, it's under the C drive, and in your C drive you have inetpub, you have your www root, and this gives you that file that we actually seen earlier. So if I double click this here, it'll actually open up and show our IIS screen here. You do have a lot of Windows security things that come up because you really don't browse on Windows servers. This is just kind of a stock thing that you can actually put here, and if I go ahead and delete these files here, which it won't break your IIS server if you delete those, I'm going to go back to our website. Nothing should be here because you can't browse to that directory, so you get forbidden access denied because the directory isn't set to show browsing, so there's no directory browsing enabled. So pretty much that's all you need for an IIS server. Again, this is from the Ansel Personal Cloud server. You can create a whole bunch of other servers with this. Kind of sky's the limit. I'm going to delete the recycle bin here. Kind of the sky is the limit of what you can do to actually install this. So one other thing that you need to get, so the Ansel gives you the pre-installed servers. One thing, if you're going to start doing things for clients, you're going to start doing things somewhat professionally with this Ansel, you need to make sure that your license key is enabled on your Windows server. This is so you can get support. That's so you can do a whole bunch of other things. The license, again, is going to be cheaper than what you would actually pay for monthly hosting from an AWS solution, or a Droplet solution, or a Voltor solution. They start out at about $25 a month. That's the bare minimum for your server. And of course, you're going to need more resources and things as your clients or things grow on your server. So just remember that that's one thing that you're going to have to watch out for. Just make sure you get a product key for this. But to install things, get things tested, this is definitely a place to do that at. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for my other videos.